This is the Taprite Ball Lock Easy Keg Conversion Kit. It will give you the ability to use your Kegerator to directly dispense from ball lock kegs. It is designed to modify existing beer and gas lines with a standard inner diameter of 3/16 of an inch, as well as the beer and gas ports on your coupler. First, run an inventory of all parts in the kit to ensure that you have all of the necessary pieces. You should have one gray gas socket, one black beer socket, one 1-inch hex nut, one rubber washer, two beer stems, two barb fittings, two female flared nuts for the barb fittings, two plastic flared washers, and two hose clamps. For this install, you will also need a flathead screwdriver and a wrench that can accommodate a 1-inch hex nut. Step 1. Ensure that all CO2 pressure is released from your system by turning off the valve to the CO2 cylinder. Adjust the regulator to return pressure to 0 psi. Then, release any remaining pressure by disconnecting the coupler from the keg. Step 2. Cut the beer and gas lines as close to the ends as possible. Be sure to make straight cuts and avoid angling the end of the line. Step 3. Slide the hose clamps over the beer and gas lines. Step 4. Place the barb fittings through the female flare nuts and insert the barb fittings into the gas and beer lines. Step 5. Be sure to insert the barb fittings all the way into the lines. Then, secure them in place by tightening the hose clamps with a flathead screwdriver. Ensure that the clamps are very secure. Step 6. Remove the barb fitting from the coupler's gas port by unscrewing the hex nut. Be sure to retain the hex nut and the rubber gas valve as you will use them with the new gas stem. You can set the old gas barb fitting aside. Attach one of the new stems to the gas port in the same fashion as the old barb fitting by inserting the old rubber gas valve into the coupler and using a wrench to secure the new beer stem in place with the old hex nut. Attach the other new stem to the beer port by placing the new rubber beer washer on the beer port and using a wrench to secure the stem and rubber beer washer in place with the new hex nut. The modifications are now complete. To attach the beer and gas lines to the modified coupler, simply place a plastic flared washer on the new gas stem and screw the modified gas line in place. Repeat the same procedure for the beer line, and the coupler is ready for attachment to the keg. To use the ball lock adapter sockets, remove the commercial keg coupler from the keg and unscrew the beer line from the beer stem. Be sure that the line is empty prior to detachment to avoid spillage. Then, screw the black beer socket into the line. Repeat the same process for the gas line, making sure that the gas supply is turned off prior to detachment from the commercial coupler. To attach to a ball lock keg, take the black beer socket and attach it to the post marked out by lifting up on the adapter's collar while pushing the adapter down onto the post. Once it is seated properly, release the collar and the adapter should attach securely to the post. Repeat the same process for the gas line by first ensuring that the gas supply is on, then attaching the gray gas socket to the post marked in. Note that the ball lock adapter sockets should always be attached to their designated posts. The black beer socket should always be attached to the out post, and the gray gas socket should always be attached to the in post. Note for homebrewers. For forced carbonation of ball lock kegs, simply screw the black socket into the gas line and attach it to the out post. This allows the CO2 to flow through the beer spear to the bottom of the keg and up throughout the beer for improved carbonation. When tapping the keg, simply attach the sockets to their respective lines and then attach them to their respective posts.